Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we talk a lot about marketing and anti-marketing on this channel. And if anti-marketing were a person,
yeah,
it would look like Rachel Zegler.
Yes.
She is doing so much anti-marketing for Disney now. It's not even funny. She just had another political meltdown, apparently on Instagram, and every time she opens her mouth, she actively drives customers away. At this point, I think Disney would be better off just releasing the Snow White movie, dumping it on Disney Plus, and calling it a day.
Yeah, I guess they should release it in some regard because there's a lot of other people who worked on it who aren't being dicks. But yeah, it's not going to make its money back. It was already at like 250-some million budget before they had to do reshoots, before they were doing a lot of CGI, before we haven't even hit marketing yet.
Yeah. So and there really hasn't been much. I mean, they put the trailer out, right? We're not seeing any dolls. I mean, if we did see dolls, maybe
there was a leaked doll. Remember, I had posted about it, but then that got taken down. Then we saw that was like 2 years ago, and we saw nothing else since.
Yeah. So I'm sitting here thinking, like, what? Because you think by now, it comes out in what, March? You'd think that the toys would be out in time for Christmas. Because, you know, if you
think you'd be seeing more trailers and stuff.
You would think you would see. I mean, they'll probably put the trailer before the Mufasa movie, I'm guessing, or Moana. But like, you think you would see more by now because we're not that far out. Usually, when you're less than 6 months out, you start pushing.
Honestly, I wouldn't spend any more money on it. I wouldn't toss any more good money after bad.
That's what I think's going on. I think they're just going to probably just dump it and call it a day. Disney's big dump. So let's talk about this. Before you get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Get woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
It's coming from Pirates and Princesses, and this was posted on X.
Yeah, that's where you said that to me, and that's where I got it from. They have her having a political meltdown. Now, here's my thing. She's having a political meltdown. She's saying she doesn't wish peace for anybody who voted for Trump.
Yeah.
Uses the F word about Trump and stuff multiple times.
Yeah.
And then we have Gina Carano, who's in a lawsuit with Disney for being fired because she basically was politely saying, hey, I don't want to put pronouns in my bio, but I respect that you use yours. I'm against bullying. And, bringing up her Holocaust comment, which is actually proving more and more true by the day. And she's fired. But Rachel Zegler can go out there and make all these comments, and they will not fire her ass. You have Mark Hamill, who literally his whole Twitter stream was nothing but politics, including promoting misinformation. And, we have Mark Ruffalo, same thing. Pedro Pascal, political hot takes, and that's all okay. Rachel Zegler, looks insane compared to all of them. And she's allowed to say what she wants, and she's not removed.
It's just gonna give Gina Carano's lawyers
exactly.
ammo.
That's my point.
Because they're gonna look at this, you're gonna be like, yeah, how come she can say this stuff?
Because she's on the left.
And yeah, exactly. So here's what she said. Apparently, this is on Instagram. This is after Trump got elected. I find myself speechless in the midst of this. Another 4 years of hatred, leaning us towards a world I do not want to live in.
I would argue we've had a lot of years of hatred, and a lot of it's coming from the people that people like Rachel Zegler.
Leaning us towards a world that will be hard to raise my daughter in. Leaning us towards a world that will force her to have a baby she doesn't want.
Not true. Was that misinformation? Are you allowed to put that up there?
Misinformation. Leaning us towards a world that is fearful. I shouldn't be this shocked, but I am. I'm heartbroken for my friends who awoke fear this morning. I am here with you to cry, to yell, to hug.
It's really hard to tell because she doesn't understand capitalization at all.
To wax poetic on how the left continues to fail us in forging a new path forward. I will agree with her there. The left did fail people because there was no other viable option for a lot of people. This loss should not have been, and it certainly should not have been by so many votes. I echo Ethel Kane's statement more than anything made Trump supporters and Trump voters and Trump himself never know peace.
Right. She just said she's wishing ill on voters of Trump, which was a significant majority in the election, and that's more than half of the people. And she's voting. She wants them to be like, not have a peace and keep the shit going, basically.
Yeah. I mean, wow, Disney. Wow. So more than half the country voted for him. That's more than half of your audience, I'm sure, especially since most of the people that are going to go see this movie are probably families, right? And she's just like, yeah, I hope they never know peace.
This isn't even this isn't even the beginning. I mean, this woman's been like, she's like, oh, this isn't this isn't like 1937. It was so rapey and it was weird. And the prince was a stalker. And we need to make sure that she's about being a good leader, not about, true love. That's not going to be in this movie. And then with the trailer, looks like they makes it look like it's like the original movie.
Yeah.
So if it isn't, people are going to be really, really, really mad.
I'm not going to read her whole
No,
statement.
but the thing is, meanwhile, they're going to be like, well, she already filmed her stuff for Disney and she's done with that. She's on to other projects. True. But she still has to do the promotional push and the media junket for Disney. I'm sure that's probably in her contract. But beyond that, aside from Disney, this behavior is going to get her ass fired from any potential future projects. Because if you're seen as being very difficult and you're seen as a liability, depending on how the Snow White film does, if it does not do well, she's going to be seen as a liability.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not going to go well for her moving forward because she won't keep her damn mouth shut. Now, look, I believe she's allowed to have her opinion. If she believes this is her opinion, she's allowed to have it. Anybody's allowed to vote differently than me. Anybody's allowed to have a different opinion than me. That's fine. The difference is if you are a celebrity, especially if you're an actor, and you are the representation of the studio or project you're working on, you are the audience facing, the face of the project, what people associate with the project, as opposed to like people who work behind the scenes and stuff. You are supposed to at least keep some sense of decorum, some sense of professionalism, some sense of, I have these opinions, but I'm not going to go out spouting them off because we don't want to, alienate the audience. Because a lot of people work that's besides me. Also the same woman who said that she deserved more money than the actors or than the theme park workers in costume, because if I have to wear a dress all day, I deserve money. Meanwhile, the theme park people weren't getting paid worth shit, and she didn't care about that. She is alienating the audience, and it's going to hurt a lot of people because they always use the excuse, well, a lot of people worked hard on this. Yeah, and who do you think's fucking it up, Rachel? All the drama around this aside from the dwarf issue has been Zegler herself fucking it up for everybody else. I mean, am I wrong about any of this?
No, I know Gal Gadot wasn't real happy with her. I think what they're going to...
Yeah, she was out there like going about Israel and stuff.
Yeah, it's like, hey, your co-star, she served in the Israeli armed forces, might not be the right battle to pick.
Again, you're allowed to have your opinions. The problem with celebrities is they don't understand that they are just like, that is all their personality is
boundaries,
now.
They don't understand
and
boundaries.
Mark Hamill, I mean, he's doing so much damage to Star Wars, it's not even funny. It's like, you cannot go, if you're the face of a project and you cannot be out there doing this stuff and expect that it's not going to hurt the project, it's not going to hurt yourself, because you're going to be looked at as being difficult and a liability. If it does tank, the project does tank because of stuff she said, which is mostly probably why it will tank. People are going to look at that and be like, she's box office poison.
Yes. I think she's going to get the Ezra Miller treatment. Mm-hmm. I think they're going to not drag her out for the premiere, or if they do, she's going to, pop on stage. Yeah, she's going to be gagged. She's going to get 5 minutes. She's not going to be doing interviews because they can't control her, right? They don't know what she's going to say.
The more that she goes off, the more it gives Gina Carano a case.
Oh, sure.
Because, Mark Hamill's being nuts, but so is Zegler. And you allowed other people up until, this point, you've allowed, Mark Ruffalo, Pedro Pascal, Mark Hamill to say whatever the hell they wanted. And Rachel Zegler say whatever the hell they wanted as long as it was on the left. So you're showing political bias, like a massive amounts of it. You're giving her more ammunition to kick your ass.
Yeah. Yeah, I think she needs to stop. Disney might not be able to stop her, but again, this is yet another example of you being able to say whatever the hell you want. Like, could you imagine if you had a celebrity out there saying, fuck Harris and all the Harris supporters?
Yeah.
What the hell would happen to you? Can you imagine?
Do you remember like when Gina Carano was harassed, and they're like, you have freedom of speech, not freedom of consequences. Same thing.
Yeah.
Zegler has freedom of speech, but going out and talking shit about more than half of your audience is probably not smart. And her constant political hot takes is going to make her look very unfavorably upon her from the studios, because she's going to be a liability. So she has the freedom to say all this stuff, but it does not mean that she's going to be free of consequences for going on a tear constantly about politics.
Yeah, I mean, she has done more damage again to this movie. I at this point, if it were me, I'd be like, this thing is not going to perform in theaters, especially in March. I mean, March is a really bad time to release a movie. it probably did get punted to March because they're like, nobody's going to watch it anyway, so we'll just put it and dump it in March.
The amount of money this movie's going to have to make just to break even is insane. It's going to have to, at this point, it was $255 million before the marketing, before all the stuff it was in 2023. Before they moved it and they added a bunch of changes and stuff. Even
like
if you
actual dwarfs?
Yeah. You're talking now, if they were having to make 500 million before, they're probably going to have to make like 800 million now to break even at least. And this movie's not going to do that. I very, very doubt it.
Yeah, I don't think so, especially now with the attitude, the public's attitude being so apparent. I think, if Disney had a time machine, they could go back. They would just not greenlight this thing. God tried to warn you. The set almost burnt down, and you didn't listen. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, like, this thing is going to be a huge disaster for them. And this might be the, we talked about this the other day with the Hollywood kind of pivoting now. This might be the last big Disney disaster that they have, because they have to get this stuff out of the system. It's been in the pipeline for years, and once this is done, it might be like, we're not greenlighting any more shit like this. We're gonna vet our actors and actresses better, but people are gonna look at her and they're gonna be like, don't hire her, she runs at the mouth. Or the opposite could happen. It could be like you've got a whole bunch of people that also hate Trump as much as she does, and they'll hire her and be totally cool with it. In fact, it'll be a selling point for them. So who the hell knows? We're going to wrap this up.
Yep.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.
Join the reef. Go to clownfishminus.com. That's clownfishminus.com. You will get exclusive access to podcasts and videos and comic strips and more, as well as merch discounts. Check it out. If you were a member, you could get this t-shirt, this dismal t-shirt, on our website. You'd get a 10% discount on that. You can also join in the community on clownfishminus.com. Thank you so much for the support.